got the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop.
That's Henry the Camel, by the way.
Calling plays like a coach. Every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold.
Good morning. Morning, Steve. Read this.
Play.
What's going on, Vic? Good to see you, man. What's up, Venus? Venus? What's up?
Let the games begin.
Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Always very important.
Every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark. Big dog sports talk. Lighten up the dark.
Coming up in just a little bit, Kion Brown will join us. It was an abrupt ending. Damien Sordelett, we'll talk all sorts of things regarding Tech Spring football. And Bob Black, the voice of the Richmond Spiders, will join us. Terrific dude. And we'd love to hear from you. Sorry, in our McClellan Chiropractic chat room, answering many things on the professional door text line at 391-0788. Let's get caught up here in our McClellan chat room and from our Family Fencing Studios. Thoughts on Michael Malone? We're going to get into that with Kion Brown coming up here, Vic. I don't care how it's spun. I don't think Michael Malone was anywhere near their thought process when all this unfolded. He had some success with the Nuggets, got fired. They won a title, had a falling out with some players. When he got fired, he didn't get really defended a whole lot, especially by Nikola Jokic. But it's the NBA. It may just not have fit him anymore. What's up, MIB? Good to see you. So I don't know. I don't know. He'll be able to fall into the economics of it. It's basically professional ball now. Can he get acclimated to coaching college? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. So we'll see. But I don't think there are a lot of Carolina fans doing cartwheels right now. I mean, obviously he's a fine coach. But again, I don't believe he was in their top 5. I mean, I think we know who they were thinking about. And you have all these reports, and who knows if they're true. People will post anything. I mean, people are so brainwashed and gullible to believe anything that's posted, anything that's said without doing any research. I saw people that said that that they were so dead set, and I do mean so dead set on once they got rid of Hubert Davis, that it was all going to be Billy Donovan. Like, it was going to be all in, and he was going to come there. Just had to wait till the season was over, which I don't know whether that's true or not. And then they said Donovan was upset that they didn't wait on him. From Palm Coast, I can almost smell the azaleas bloom. Azaleas? Did I say that right? Azaleas bloom on the Augusta fairways. I'm from where you sit across the world. Surely you feel the same as the Masters floods the TV airways. Morris is stoked for the Masters. I can't say I'm stoked for the Masters. I'll say that I'm going to try to get into it this year. Try to find a golfer I can support for all 4 rounds. Yeah, and I don't know. Nobody seems to be taking the executive order seriously, and it's crazy. Donnie Lynn was on it, and, he mentioned that there were a lot of things in there that were a step in the right direction. A lot of what the executive order said made a lot of sense. Now, how does it get implemented? Who brings it into college athletics? I mean, I don't know the answer to it. I'm just asking the question, Vic. I thought what I read, I tried to read it through. It made a lot of sense. It's a lot of the things that we as fans have been concerned about. A lot. But, to me, when you don't have anybody doing anything to run the organization, which the NCAA doesn't do, there's no leadership, and your organization is going to lose every lawsuit, why wouldn't you go ahead and implement this? It's a presidential executive order, like Vic said. Is it just because it's Trump and people have such a problem? I mean, I don't know. But I don't know how it goes either. I don't know. That's right, Prometheus. I don't know how that works with private schools either. It's more complicated than we think. It shouldn't be. But it barely drew a ripple within college athletics. And all that tells me is that the people running around that are complaining about all this don't really care about their sports. They don't care about their organization. They don't care about their universities. They don't care about anything. Because nothing's going to be done. I was asked this yesterday, maybe the day before. I've been asked a couple of times. Do I believe there's a solution? No, I don't believe there's going to be a solution. I do not believe that the schools who want to break away, the Big Ten and the SEC, I think they're using this system as the means for which to go ahead and break away. I really do. Because those schools are always going to have the money to participate in this wild, wild west. And they don't care about everybody else. They act like they do. They may say they do, but they don't. No one out there, and I mean no one out there that says anything is actually trying to do anything in college sports. And that's the problem. I mean, Jay Billis is just, he's a guy that has a law degree from Duke, and he believes he's the smartest guy in the room, and nothing what he says makes any sense. He contradicts himself in things that he said in the past. I mean, when you have Jay Billis and Seth Greenberg talking about the future of college sports, I mean, you might as well have, you know how we had Henry the Camel? We should have Henry the Camel and another camel trying to debate what's going on in college sports. It's the same response. Don't say you can't play golf. I can't play golf, Morris. Yeah, now playing golf with you would be fun, Morris. I can tell already. But no, I'm not. I've been twice. Yeah, you're right, Prometheus. That could be what we're looking at. Yeah. But again, people can't put away their politics or their bias against the president to actually think about what was said and realize that what he said made a lot of sense. You know what I mean? So here we go back to that part of it too. We go back into the political aspect of all this. And, I've said it many times, politics is what's ruining this country, what has got us in this spot. It's strictly politics. It's strictly no one wanting to do what's right because of their politics. Nobody looks at any common sense because of that. They're more loyal to that than they are their humanity or to anybody else. And that's what we're seeing really with college sports. Nobody is really worried about, and I just don't see it because, they say actions speak louder than words. I don't see it anywhere. We see a lot of people complaining it's not sustainable. Okay, we saw schools open their books and show how much money they were losing. Okay. But did anybody take the next step forward? Did anybody try to organize meetings, emergency meetings? Is there any honest recognition? No, you know what's going on right now? Schools are trying to figure out how much money they're going to have to pay for their new college basketball roster. The portal's been open 24 hours, and there are over 2,000 players in college basketball in the portal. This is what is going on. This is the reality of it. Not people trying to come together for the greater good. There's not going to be. So if this presidential order doesn't take any kind of effect, then what's left? You can't go to a higher office in this country than that of the president of the United States. Then what? Are you going to believe that anybody's going to come up with anything running the schools? Anybody in leadership in the NCAA? Nothing worse than things being called leadership when it's just completely the opposite. It's a joke. And there's none there. Do I have any answers? I do not. I just tell people the same thing. I do not see this now. I've done a 180. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I've done a 180. I do not believe there's any hope on the horizon anytime soon. Oh, that's cool. You saw Carlos Santana last night, Morris? That's awesome. I loved Remember the song Winning that he had? Remember that? He didn't sing it, but it was in the 80s. It's a good song. I don't remember who the guy was that sang it. He never sings. He just, all right, I can do that, Vic. That's exciting. I haven't done that in a while. He said Artemis 2 update. Let's see. I'm only trying to follow NASA because everybody's already, AI is just, people are posting a bunch of stuff from AI. Then it gets community notes and they ask Grok. They're showing a lot of moonshots on their way from the lunar far side to a solar eclipse from the moon. It's really cool, man. But if you're not following it, that's some of the stuff that they're showing from these high definition cameras as they look out the windows and as they travel. It's the furthest away that anyone's ever been from the earth. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think these people are very brave, for one. And it's amazing to me that here we are talking about college athletics, and nobody has any idea how to fix it, or nobody wants to fix it, yet we're sending 4 people. I think I saw it's like 260,000 miles away from Earth. It just blows my mind. Uh-oh. Did he decide to get political? Uh-oh. He's one of those now. Nothing like going to a concert and hearing some overpaid so-and-so run their mouth about politics in a world that they don't live in, right? They don't live in the real world. Nothing like that. I'm a multimillionaire. I live in a house with more square footage than some small countries. Here's what I think about the world. And here's what you should think too. Now, here's my new song. I don't want to hear after he would have gotten into politics, I'm done. Okay. Yeah, why the need to do that? See, can I just go to a concert and be entertained and enjoy the music? Is that hard to do? Can I just think about watching a movie? Or no, Hollywood just is complete. They'll never get it. Hollywood went nuts all at once, and they've not coming back. And now I don't look forward to any movies because everybody's put their politics out there. They're telling you how much they hate you if you don't agree with them. And Marva and I are going to continue next week. And that's what she was diving into yesterday. Anybody who disagrees, well, they're this type of person or that type of person. And that's not what it is. It's not how this country was built. Our forefathers didn't agree on much when they were trying to come up with the original laws and regulations for this new territory, but they got it worked out. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Mendoza's going to be with his family, right? He wants it to be kind of a more personal thing. He knows he's going to go number 1. Right? He knows. I think that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Anything that goes anti what Roger Goodell wants, I'm all for. Anything that puts a kink into Roger Goodell's plans, I'm there. That guy is an absolute lunatic. Again, 10 services you have to have to watch the complete season in the NFL. 10. Hang on, let me get animals here. Hang on. Or a animal. Come on. Come on. Balboa. Come on, buddy. All right. Sorry about that. But why do you can't have I think we're getting less and less to where you can have an honest discussion about things. And that's troubling because people always want to, they can't hide their biases enough to try. And that's what's wrong with college sports. Their biases with one another, right? Our school can do this, so we're not going to try to fix it. We don't need to fix it. We're good. Texas Tech does not care about anything that's happening because they've got, what, $40 million in football. They just announced they're going to spend more money in all these other sports, basketball, baseball, softball, even sports that are losing money like softball and baseball. And they don't care. And, you know, the athletes are getting paid, so they're not suffering. I don't feel sorry for coaches because they choose that profession. They're making good money. You know, who's left to pay the price is us as fans. It comes back to fans. Morris. Dolphins abducted a man in Florida and forced him to build a city underwater. Really? Is there a true Atlantis? Submariner? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got 2 left. We've got 2 players left, Vic. Two players left. That's all we've got. And that means we lost 13. 13. So, yeah. Yeah. A dolphin abducted a man and made him buy the Bitcoin. All right, 3rd time's a charm here. He's been battling me this morning. He's cold. He's been out. He doesn't want to. Odd times. I'll be right. All right. Sorry. He's fighting me this morning. We'll talk about this a little bit with Kion and Bob Black. All these things, man. Good morning, Anthony. How you doing? You Louisville Cardinal, you. Fans suffer and then they expect us to pay for it. Raise ticket prices. Yeah, exactly. It is a racket. That's the best way to put it. I told you it was called a money laundering scheme. Mason, my daughter is a teacher. Yes. But no, my mom was not. So my daughter is a teacher now over in the Floyd County school system. Very proud of her. Also working on her master's at Tech. But no, mom or former wife, not teaching. What's up, Reggie? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, what are the different objectives players having from have for transferring from Radford? Money. It's money. They had money this year. We had money this year that won't be there next year. And it's players who came in that had good seasons, and it's now they're being recruited by power schools, Reggie. And they're going to leave. I mean, they're all in the portal except for 2. Yeah, thanks, Mason. Thanks for asking. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. She's teaching younger kids over there. She loves it, and she's always been so good. She was one of her first job was up here at Auburn with Miss Cynthia, working in the after-school program, and she's been into that. So I'm proud of her teaching young people. Yeah, it's important. It's very important. Much like this gentleman, one of my all-time favorite human beings who's dedicated his life to teaching young people. Kion Brown, what's up, brother? How are you?
Rick Watson, what's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
Well, we're trying to figure out how to solve all the college world problems, but we have no answers, brother.
Yeah, man.
Almost 2,000 players in the portal, and it's only been 24 hours.
Yeah, man. That's the new world we live in. It's ridiculous.
I know. It is.
Ridiculous.
It is.
And then by the end of all of this, it's still going to be 800 players left over, and they're going to have
that's right
to work. And there's nothing wrong with this at a UPS or Amazon because they're going to have to find a way to get money in. And the real world's going to hit them when they could have stayed at their school, maybe not have made as much money as they would have wanted or thought that they should get, or have as much playing time as that they thought that they should have received. And now you'll be on the outside looking in. It happens every year, and it's so sad. It really is. And then you see them telling their story on Instagram on a reel, saying, I went from this.
Yeah.
And you see them dunking, and then to this, waking up at 4:30 a.m. delivering packages.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. It really is.
Well, we're down to 2.
Oh, God.
We're down to 2 down in the Devon Center now.
Well, they're giving people a high point 7 years of eligibility. So I wonder if I can be a third on the Radford roster.
I think you probably could. You could probably come back. How does Fletcher have any eligibility left?
It's amazing to me. 7 years. This dude has to have a doctorate by now. Like, that's what 7 years of college basketball should get you. A doctorate. It should be Dr. Fletch. Come on, Doc.
He just puts Doc on the back of his jersey. And
come on, man.
Doc.
Where was this when I was playing? And I'm not that far removed.
Reggie asks, Kion can answer this too. Based on our past experience at Radford, does it work out for them? Yeah, right. When players have left Radford, I mean, Carleek wasn't really, at that time, it wasn't called, well, it's no longer NIL, it's pay for play. But really, he finished up his degree at Radford, wanted to play another year, and he did, and he built himself up. And yeah, these guys that are leaving, they'll make money, won't they, KB? Don't you think? These guys are leaving Radford, most of them?
You mean in the portal or just leaving, period? Like when I was playing?
Leaving and going to the portal. Some of them will make
money.
Yeah,
well, the good thing about Coach Jones was he had so much retention. During my 4 years at Radford, we only had one guy transfer. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
That is amazing to me that happened.
That's true. That's true.
But that says a lot about Coach Jones, though.
100%.
Even back then, guys were transferring. You didn't have 13. You probably had 2 per year, 1 to 2 per year.
Yeah.
100%. And that was pretty much normal. That didn't surprise anybody.
Why hasn't Campbell hired Mike Jones yet?
Yeah, man. We got a lot of openings right now. And then now what's going to happen is, these schools are going to hire these coaches late. The portal's open. You're way in the back of the line now. Everybody's going to be picked through all of the rosters and all of the players in the portal. And then you're going to be in a situation where you got to get what's left over. And then you won't be as talented. So now you need a coach that's able to mix all of that up, put all of that together, and then hopefully you'll be winning. And we know a guy that Could do it. He can do it with less. He just did it at UNCG.
The only thing I think about that job is that would he be happy there?
Yeah, that's it's tough play. What's his name? Is it Bowie's? What's it called?
Bowie's Creek.
Bowie's Creek. Oh,
and you know what's down there.
Oh gosh, Billy Bob's Wonderland is down there. That's what's down there. They still got Billy Bob. Not Chuck E. Cheese. They got Billy Bob still. They do. It's like a blast from the past when you go down there. You go from 2026 to 1986. And nothing's updated. Nothing's new. The campus is beautiful, but after you go into town, my goodness, there's nothing.
No.
I hated playing there.
There's not.
It took forever to get there from Radford.
Took forever to get there. Yeah.
We always beat them, so that was a plus. So that made the ride back better. But oh gosh, I'll never forget those trips. Those trips were worse than going to Myrtle Beach, as far as the length and traveling there.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Michael Malone, your thoughts? I mean, Carolina folks are trying to spin this a little bit. I don't know. I can't say he's going to fail. I don't know if he will.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way he was in the top 5. No.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm torn. I'm torn on a few things because when I think of Mike Malone, what first comes to mind is Eddie Jordan at Rutgers and Chris Mullen at St. John's and Avery Johnson at Alabama, basically saying that when you have guys who come from the NBA back to college, they don't know what they're doing. And it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. It is not the same thing. You have to manage egos in the NBA, sure, but you have to manage young men. In college, which is a whole different story. It's a whole different thing. You don't know what's going to happen in North Carolina. Now, and the other question that I had is if Duke had an opening, they would get their first option. North Carolina just isn't what it used to be anymore.
That's a great point.
Yeah, man.
That's a great point. This was weird. We not? Is it the esteem of the Carolina job has fallen, or was it just kind of the way things have gone? They're going to transfer from an AD, Bubba Cunningham, who's had a lot of respect. I don't know much about the new AD. What happened there? Why would people not look at Carolina as being the opportunity that it really is? It's weird.
That's the biggest mystery of them all. Because when you think of Carolina, you think, and we say it all the time, one of the top 2 best jobs in college basketball.
No question.
That brand is in the United States as recognized as anyone. You could argue it's not bigger than the Yankees, I don't believe. Or the Lakers, but it's probably top 5 right behind the Dallas Cowboys as well. You can make that argument. You really can. It's that Carolina brand, that emblem. It just doesn't hit the same. It really doesn't. And it's sad to see because it's something that the ACC holds its head off on. And now you're just hanging on to Duke and hoping that the Blue Devils can make runs in the tournament every year. It's not about North Carolina anymore, and it's sad. I thought for sure one of those top 4 guys that we were talking about, whether it was Lloyd or Otzenberger, or whoever, would have taken that job and would have gladly taken it. But now you're going down to your 6th option.
I know.
That tells you how low the brand is right now.
And it's not money he's getting. They reported he's making like what, 7 or 8 million?
He's still getting paid from the Denver Nuggets. He's still getting paid from the Denver Nuggets.
So it's not a lack of funds. I don't know. It was weird to me. It was just weird how Carolina struggled. We saw it with Penn State football.
Yeah.
It was just kind of the same thing because I don't know. I don't know why it went from – you would thought there had been people falling all over one another to go to North Carolina to be the head basketball coach.
And the jury is still – you don't know what's going to happen. So all of these people talking about we went behind the scenes on this one. We went, we came out of nowhere with this one. This is going to be a really – you're not surprising anybody with this one because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how he's going to adjust. This is totally different than the NBA. And he's a great NBA coach. I loved him in the NBA. I thought he was great. Nikola Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, so nobody knew that he was coming.
Let's go back. Let's catch you up on the draft picks.
Yeah, man. Like literally, he was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. So it's not like, everybody knew that he would be what he was going to be. He had to develop into that, and Mike Malone was a huge part of that. So can he do it with these young men? We'll see.
I read something that they said the only reason they got Malone is because he was unemployed. Everybody who had a job felt like wherever they were was better than North Carolina, and they were talking what we're talking. They're like, I never thought I would ever see that happen in North Carolina.
Yeah, and at the same time, you didn't have to pay for a buyout with them. So now
That's right.
Use that buyout money and hopefully try to build a stronger roster. We'll see.
We'll see, man. I don't know. What did you think? What did you think of the title game? What did you think about Michigan kind of running through this thing?
Yeah, the championship game was Arizona versus Michigan. Whoever won that game was going to win the championship. Michigan won. They struggled shooting the ball versus UConn. But the difference is they were bigger, they were faster, they were stronger, they were more physical. It was really not much that UConn could do with them. And there was a point in the season, early this season, November, December, where it was so clear that Michigan was the best squad in college basketball. They were just destroying people. I mean, they were winning top 10 games by 40, and then they kind of tailed off a bit at the end. And when they lost to Purdue in the championship game, that's when folks started to forget about what they did at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That's when it was. And then you look at Arizona on the flip side, and they won the Big 12, and that's why they were the overwhelming favorite to win by most people. But there were 3 teams in college basketball all season long that I thought could have won the championship. A healthy Duke, Arizona, and obviously Michigan. And one of them won. Duke miraculously, by a miracle, didn't make the Final Four. Arizona got smacked across the board by Michigan, and then Michigan ultimately finished the job. But great job by UConn and Coach Dan Hurley as well, though, because nobody thought that they would be back in the final.
I know.
Very few people thought of that. And those guys crawled back, fought. This might be his best coaching job that he's done, especially in that Big East championship game, getting blown out by St. John's. People thought that they wouldn't have made it to the second weekend. And to make the Final Four, you're a success. For those watching, if you make it to the Final Four, you had a successful season.
That's right.
It's Final Four and championship. That's the 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. And kudos to all those coaches. I love the way Illinois played.
Yep.
I thought they were really just the epitome of team play. A coach who really had them prepared. They were fun to watch. They were fun. I didn't know much about them, to be honest, until they went on this run. But watching their players, they play the game the right way.
Yeah, they really do. And they got a pipeline of European player that's going to be right there, right back again. Play the game the right way, understand spacing, understand how to play on the offensive end to create mismatches. Coach Underwood in Illinois will be right back. And he's a story of just being patient. He's the oldest or the 3rd oldest coach to make it to the Final Four for the first time. So it's like, God, just be patient in whatever you do, and the results will come based on the work. The universe will reward you. That's how I look at it for him.
Prometheus is right, though. Overall, the games were disappointing. They were not good on the women's side either.
As far as the Final Four?
Yeah, just the Final Four games. They weren't great. Championship game wasn't great. Are we going to start to see this, do you think? Is this an anomaly, or is this going to become more the norm because of the way things are slanted because of the money? What do you think?
Well, I think it's an anomaly. I don't think as far as the explosive offenses, that wasn't the championship game, but it was still competitive. Whenever you had Michigan going up big, UConn always made a run to bring it back down to 5. They just couldn't convert. And I'll tell you one part of the game that changed it for UConn. It was when they had one of those plays where you have to go to the monitors and look at it for 4 minutes, and it ruined their rhythm. That's what it was. That changed the game for UConn. It was the hook and hold. Well, I think it was on Caravan, and they looked at that thing for so long, and it swung the momentum, and they went from up 2 to Michigan shooting 2 free throws, getting the basketball back, and then hitting the 3, and UConn never recovered. That's what it was. So who knows what would have happened had that not happened?
That's a great point, and I'm so tired of it already. The reviews, the way they go about it, how long it takes. I understand we want to get it right, and I appreciate the technology, but I don't know, KB. Before we had all this, and we didn't have video replay, we dealt with the fact we had human mistakes, and we moved on, and the game wasn't interrupted like it was. It
wasn't. It was the fact that you saw it on TV, and the media outlet or whatever the ESPN or the CBS or whatever would slow the replay down. And then they'd be like, well, that should have been their ball. And then the guys are complaining on Twitter, I just saw the replay. It should have been changed. But while the game is still going on. So you're absolutely right. That's what changed everything, is the fact that these networks are having instant replays, and then guys are watching at home and then tweeting saying, we just saw the replay on CBS or on ESPN or whatever the case may be. That should be XYZ basketball.
Yes. Yeah.
So everybody saw that. They changed it, and now it's ruining the game because it's ruining the flow.
100%. And you have moronic Gene Sarator. All he does is ever agree with the officials. It's just, why is he even on there talking?
Yeah.
Why is he
and then when it's like you and I and you're calling the game and you got to kill 6 minutes.
I know.
That's the worst part too.
I know. We're trying to cover for it. And we never, a lot of times we don't get clarification exactly what they're looking for. It's just,
yeah. And I said on air, I'm like, dude, this ruins the game.
I know.
Yep. And then, I got a message one time from an official who covers that league, and they were like, did you have to get on our guys like that? And I'm like, no, your guys need to call a better game.
That's right. I do the same thing.
No disrespect. Respectfully.
I know. I'm like, I got a message like that once too from umpires, from college umpires, because we had both dugouts, both coaches about got run. And you could tell the guys were just like, they're looking back at the umpire like, what is your strike zone? So I said, tell your guys to do a better job.
Yeah.
My job is to sit there and describe the game.
Yes.
And I said, you're sending me an email, so you're criticizing me. I don't have a problem with it. Here's what's going on. How about you get these guys up to snuff on how to, call balls and strikes?
Right.
Right.
Man. Yeah.
That's all. Do your job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. Do your job.
So it happens. So for those of you watching, there's some things that goes on behind the scenes.
We're taking them inside.
Yes.
Hey, look, I know how much money these officials get paid. I have no problem.
Yeah.
Pointing out when they're not doing
absolutely.
I don't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Woo. You see some of these big South refs, and then you look on the NCAA tournament, and they're right there.
Really? For an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I heard you say you're not excited about any movies too anymore. You're not excited about the Michael Jackson? I've been excited, dude.
Is that a movie? Okay, yeah, okay. Is that a movie or is that a documentary?
It's a movie.
So it's somebody playing Michael Jackson?
Yes, his nephew's playing him.
Really?
His nephew Jafar Jackson. I think it's Tito Jackson's son.
Really?
It's Tito or Jermaine, one of those guys. Yes, it comes out in 2 weeks. This is the first time I've been excited for a movie.
Now I would like to see that. I didn't know how. I have seen ads.
Yeah,
but I wasn't sure if it was like, because I like documentaries like that too. Following him and so it's going to be his nephew.
Yeah, and this, I think Paramount's making it. No, is it Paramount or Universal's making it? And the estate of Michael Jackson gave it the okay. So I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be really good.
Okay.
Nia Long's playing his mom, so you love to see her.
Who is it?
Nia Long. Nia Long is.
I know that name.
Oh yeah, because was the ex-girlfriend of the Houston Rockets coach. And
there you go.
Yeah, and we remember all that stuff that happened with him.
Yeah, that's true.
How did you mess that up?
Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's true. I was going to ask you: is this the whole story of Michael, or is it just him touring, like all the allegations?
Yeah, I think it's going. My guess is that it's going to be 2 parts, and they're going to take it all the way up to the Bad album, Thriller and Bad.
Okay.
I have to. I must, and I got to see that thing in Dolby, the surround sound IMAX. I have to.
You have to go to
yeah. Like I'm taking off of work to go see that.
Oh, kids! Oh.
Yeah.
Remember, Mr. Brown won't be here tomorrow.
Yep. You'll be like, why? Because Michael came out. That's why. You'll be fine for one day.
Well, you can make the argument he's the most talented entertainer that's ever lived.
Yeah, you can make the argument that he's the most popular and most well-known human in the history of this world too. I was having an argument with my students about that as well. I said Michael Jackson is the most famous person to ever walk this planet.
There's two others. One other,
Elvis
Presley, during his day, which is why he was the king of rock and roll, and that's why they called Michael the king of pop, because they had a similar effect on the world at the time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Elvis Presley was that back in.
Even now, I would think that more kids know who Michael Jackson is.
Oh, no doubt.
Presley, especially me working in the school. If I were to ask 100 kids who Michael Jackson was, they would still know. If I would ask 100 who Elvis was, I'd say 30 probably would know.
Yeah,
these kids are different now.
I mean, I don't know. People are on getting text messages about what about all the things, all the allegations. Well, I don't know. I don't know where everything's.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I don't know if how much of that's true. How much of it. I don't know. You hope it's not. There's been a lot of evidence that maybe some things were going on. Who knows? Yeah. But in terms of being, and that's where I go into, we can't relate. If you're the biggest thing in the world, he can't go anywhere. He can't go buy a pack of gum.
Right.
Because he's Michael Jackson, right? You're going to have.
No, he can't do anything.
So
I would like to go grocery shopping with people in it, but it will never do that. Yeah.
Right. So how do you even function? And I'm not making excuses for it, but I understand completely why all of a sudden you find out they get hooked on drugs and they have to have things to keep going. How do you handle being the biggest entity in the world? You can't.
It's crazy. Did you hear the story Magic Johnson told? He said, "Yeah, we were at the forum, and I knew Michael. And I was like, I got some seats for you. Just come." He said he came through the tunnel, walked through the court, and they had to stop the game for 30 minutes because they wouldn't allow him to get to his seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me. That is insane.
Tiger Woods, yeah. Tiger was like that during his day too. Yeah, it's Prometheus.
Yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, music reaches more people than
it does. It does. It does. Yeah, I'm with
the sports world for sure, but music is a different beast.
Well, and look at it. Elvis, he died of drugs. He died of a drug overdose. Michael Jackson died of so. It'd be one thing to say you want to be that famous, but I would never, ever, ever want to be that famous.
Yeah,
ever.
That's like a filthy. That's like
that's filthy famous.
It's like, man,
that's a great point.
People reach that pinnacle where he was.
I want to,
and you can argue that nobody has reached it.
Yeah, especially since.
Yeah, well, Thriller came out in '92, is still on the charts. Like, come on now, that's ridiculous.
No question. And he kept going. That's the thing about a lot of people would release Thriller and you think, oh, well, he's never going to, be able to, but he changed. He did. And that's what's amazing. The Bad album. You go into, what was the one he did in the early 90s?
Was it Off the Wall?
Well, Off the Wall was before that. It was before Thriller. It was, the one where he had the black and white song.
Oh, okay.
He had a couple of the ballads that were big hits.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember what album. What album was the Way You Make Me Feel? I love that song.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know what album made it, but
I can see the album cover right now. It was like that crazy gold one with his
eyes. Yes, with his face.
Yeah,
with his eyes. Yeah. But the fact that they showed him, that documentary where he's on stage and he's working on his new concert. He was going to come back and have and then that's when he passed away. Sad.
And I tell the students this all the time as well. I say there's 2 times in your life where you always remember something. Is where you were when 9/11 happened and where you were when Michael Jackson passed away.
Yeah.
There are 2 things you always remember.
I do. I'm starting to think if I remember exactly. I just got home from work. It happened like late in the afternoon Eastern time.
Yep, it was 2 days before my birthday, and it ruined my birthday because everybody was more worried about Michael Jackson than getting me a cake. I'll never forget it.
Did you get your cake?
I got my cake, but they were like, take your cake. Let's go back to crying.
Here, take your cake.
There it was. They're like, take your cake.
Well, good stuff as always, brother. How's your class doing? How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
We got 34 days of school left.
Got the game.
Can I do that? Is it cool if I do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and the name of the album was Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah, Dangerous.
That's right.
Yeah,
Dangerous. Yeah, it's a good album. It's a good album too.
Yeah, man.
Do you have go ahead. No,
so you all pray for me in the classroom. The good thing about this year was spring break was 2 weeks later, so it's going to make it feel like it's going by a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But
do you have a number? Did you make one of those calendars and every day you rip off a sheet? 33 days.
I had that since 50. Yeah, for sure. And the numbers get bigger and bigger as the days go on.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
And I believe it too. I totally believe
We're
it.
so close. Oh, gosh.
I hope we get you right after school is like the day after. You're going to be just such a celebratory mode.
Yeah, and the thing about me, I'm the teacher that has all of the great reviews. Whenever I have the observations, it's amazing. So I'm not trying to toot my own home, but they're amazing. But I'm also the teacher that doesn't have any decorations in this classroom. So on that last day, while all these teachers are packing up, I'm already ready.
You're just gonna You're just gonna shut down your close your computer, whatever. And you're out.
That's me.
You're not.
That's me.
Everybody else is ripping stuff off.
Yeah, I don't got time for all that.
That's good. I get it. It's kind of like me breaking down after a game. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm packing up. Let's go. Post game's over.
Routine. It takes you 4 minutes to pack up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was out of the press box yesterday after the Tech Radford softball game in like 22 seconds. See ya.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, brother. Have a great day, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. All right. Take care. Kion Brown joining us. Yeah, the Michael Jackson thing. I would like to see that. I would. I'd like to see that. Some people recognize Elvis, some Michael Jackson. True culture seekers. No, Rick Watson is the big dog. Well, might be a little different, but thank you, Brandon. Brandon holding it down at baseball yesterday. Hey, Brandon, what does your boss do down there around the facilities? Because I don't see very much. Post-game Rick is out faster than Usain Bolt running 100-yard dash. Oh, that's right. You had to do both yesterday. Yeah, there's no question, man. And we had a big crowd yesterday at softball. It was Tech and Radford. Tech won 7-2. And the stands were full. I don't believe there were maybe 1 or 2 empty seats. Hokie chants. I felt like I was at a Tech home game, but they packed it out. Kudos to them. It was a nice environment, though. It was a nice environment. But at that point, because not only was our parking lot full, but the overflow parking lot was full. So I was like, uh-oh. It's time to get out. That's what's great about the ESPN Plus broadcast. You're just like, good night, everybody. You don't have to worry about a post-game show. You're just done. So I'm packed up and I'm out of there. You won't. If I'm ever rushing out, I'm not being rude. I'm just getting out of there. Done. I'm done. And of course, the softball game went about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I want to thank Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio here in Rhino. They are great. Jason Green, they are busy. It's awesome. Thank you, everybody who's followed up. 540-200-8294 for a free quote. Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic. If your back is weird, if your hips don't feel right, your shoulders, go see Mark, 155 Walters Drive. If you need a chiropractor, you've never seriously considered one, go see Mark. You will be glad you did. Travis Williams from Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line, went to go see Mark. I think now he's a regular patient. Trav says he feels great. 540-391-0788. That's our text line. Thanks so much to Professional Door Incorporated. They've been around for 38 years. Residential, commercial, garage doors. They're the best at what they do. They are the best at what they do. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment's the presenting sponsor of this program. We thank them for all of their support, and we support everything they are doing in Pulaski County. And wait till the warm weather gets here for good. You're going to have so many options to go up when the Sportsplex, it's on schedule. Little River Heating and Air is 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. I've had 2 different people the past week say we're going to call them. Boom, they call them, and they get response immediately. You're not going to regret it. Morris, you're one of them. Little River Heating and Air. One of the best experiences I've ever had with any company. The BDST fan question of the week. Send me your choices to win the Masters. No wrong answer to me because, hell, I don't know. 701 West Main Street in Radford. Trusted Estate Planning. Who will win the Masters? It starts tomorrow. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel for our T-shirts. If you want a BDST T-shirt, $20. The NRB Super Bowl. Thanks to Terry and Amanda. They've been around for over 25 years, 382-5525. Reserve your lanes today. We're going to do our meetup there. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997. Thanks to James, 540-381-8011. Parts for your home. Talk about somebody who has a great reputation. They are awesome. They are awesome. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST. It's over now. I got it done. Here on YouTube and my exclusive banking partner as well. The Ready Set Fund, that's Bob Christ, BOBCRIST 11 at Gmail. If you have an organization, if you have a high school team, a rec league team, whatever it might be that needs to raise some money, well, Bob will tell you about the Ready Set Fund, how to organize a group of text messages to make money. Sundown Electric, excellent reputation, a long list of satisfied clients, superior craftsmanship, attention to detail, clear, honest communication, and integrity. Reach out to the Smith brothers and go find out what they are all about. And I believe that's everybody who supports the program. If you're looking to have your business get immediate dividends, join us here on BDST. Every one of those folks, well, Sundown's been with us a month, but every one of those folks I have heard have gotten immediate response because they've been on the show. Yeah, it was a baseball pace for softball. It just, yeah, man, merch. We do have merch. Here you go, Vic. Let me put it up for you. The shirts are really nice too. They're high quality. Everybody who's gotten them have liked them. There you go. There's front and back, Vic. $20. If you need it shipped to you, I can do that for a little bit more. We'll figure it out. But there you go. Damien Sordelet's going to join us from the Roanoke Times here coming up. But that's what we have. There's no hats or anything like that. But the shirts are really nice quality. It's a nice blend of comfort, but it's also durable. And that's all Brandon. He picked it out, the top shelf. Great for the summertime, wherever you might be going. But there you go. And they are worth it. Everybody who's gotten one's told me how awesome they are. So that's good. It's always awesome when we're joined by that gentleman, Damien Sordelett. He's the Virginia Tech football beat writer for the Roanoke Times. What's up, brother? Good morning.
Morning. Glad the weather's starting to cooperate with us.
And then we got cold again for a couple days. I'm tired of thinking we're done, and then we're not.
Well, it's weather in the New River Valley, so.
Yeah, no bobblehead dolls, Vic. I don't think that would have been good. My head would have fallen off the bobblehead doll. Well, what's going on with Tech football? What do you got, man? You always have little tidbits that people are waiting to hear. What do we got out of the interviews and the scrimmage and everything else? What'd you find out?
Yeah, so James Franklin, as most of us had noticed through the first couple weeks of spring ball, is hands-on with the offense. And this harkens back to his time at Vanderbilt and his early years at Penn State when he brought John Donovan with him from Maryland to Vanderbilt and had Donovan as the OC, but Franklin was very hands-on with the offense. And similar setup with Ty Howe. It's going to be the offensive scheme is going to have Franklin's fingerprints all over it. So I don't think that was unexpected. The lunch pail was handed out for the first time after Friday's scrimmage, and Asen Stevens is carrying the lunch pail for the first time in his career. So Brent Pry spoke highly about him last week, and Franklin echoed those comments yesterday. So Stevens is showing up. He's one that is going to factor into the defensive end rotation in one way or another.
Did we lose? There we go.
Compared to playing last year with in the Sam Cephas scheme.
It froze up a little bit there. I don't know if that was on my end or your end, but well, that's good though. I mean, that giving out awards like that, it's good stuff. I mean, everything seems pretty positive. The best news is I haven't heard of any injuries whatsoever, any new injuries anyway so far. So that's great news.
I'm sorry. Matt Moore said Justin Bell, offensive tackle transfer from Michigan State, suffered an injury was it last Tuesday, but still went through the scrimmage. And he was like, yeah, that's what I want to see out of an offensive lineman. If he's dinged up, he's still going to go. Justin Terry's coming back. We saw him get more run yesterday during the Indy drills. He was second team left tackle. They're kind of rotating there at tackle since Logan Howland's out. But Lucas Austin's getting run at tackle after he was at guard last year. So offensive line's actually coming around, and there's a legit 10 to 11 deep on the offensive line, which, if you remember this time last year, we were talking about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Now we're at,
yeah.
You have a legit 2 deep, and you have like redshirt freshman Gavin Crawford and Michael Troutman are battling for like the number 5 guard or center combo. So that's good. They've recruited well and identified well, and they're developing those guys. And last night I was thinking, man, if you could Troutman and Crawford as redshirt seniors, if they develop, and then I was like, well, Damien, don't get ahead of yourself. No one sticks around for 5 years these days, develops and waits his turn to, play ball. They hop into the portal. So I was thinking of goes to days gone by when it was like the good old days where you developed and waited your turn, and come your redshirt junior year, you're out there starting and you're developing, and
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's what people keep talking about, the Hune kid. It's great that he looked great. That's awesome. But unless they do some shuffling, he's not going to be here. He's going to show up this year. People are going to get reputation, and he's going to put himself in the portal next year. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. If Grunkemeyer has a really, really good year, he will technically be draft eligible because that would have been his 3rd year in college.
Yeah, that'd be the only thing. That's true. If that were to happen, yeah, that could happen. That potentially could happen, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I think he is going to have a really good year. I really do. I think he might be right now low key. He's going to end up being one of the top 5 additions of anybody in the ACC. Because he knows the offense. He's comfortable. He did it at a highest level, the Big Ten. He's going to be fine. He's going to be just.
Oh yeah. So I looked up the stats for him. So his games against Iowa and Ohio State, he was throwing a curveball. You're thrown into the fire as a starter after Drew Aller went down. Against Indiana, he threw an interception on the second play of the second half. After that play, from that game through the end of the season, he completed 73% of his passes for nearly 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So that goes back to what you're saying about he was doing it at the highest level.
Yeah.
And heck, he nearly led Penn State to the win over Indiana, which would have.
I know.
But again, Omar Cooper's catch was part of the highlight reel of Indiana's championship season. But yeah, I could see it. And Matt Moore brought up a key point yesterday because David Teal asked him about pass blocking. And he goes, well, why do you think we were so good run blocking last year? Our quarterback strength was running the ball. Now, we're installing things in this offense with good quarterbacks where there's going to be more quick games. We're not looking to stretch the field as much on every passing play like there was last year when Monty just didn't tailor the offense to the offensive line. He was just looking for shot play after shot play in the passing game. Now it's quick games, rub routes, quick outs, hitches, stuff like that. Stuff that Matt Moore's like, well, if we're only blocking for a second, we're going to look good in pass pro. So they're tailoring the offense to have quick pass games. You're probably going to run the ball a good bit, but something where you're getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, not a lot of thinking. And then you will have some routes that you will need to go through your progressions, but it's going to be a quick hitting offense where the quarterback is not going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and that's going to help pass pro. And And then if defenses start seeing that, they're probably not going to rush as much because no ball's coming out of the quarterback's hands fast, and then you have the opportunity for some shot plays. So again, like I mentioned earlier, Franklin getting his fingerprints on this offense. He's a former quarterback. He called offenses at Maryland against the Bud Foster defense at Lane Stadium, and he knows you have to, you can't sit back there and try to take shots. So it's a good sign moving forward with the, hearing that from Matt Moore and also hearing about how happy he is with the depth on the offensive line.
Well, and I just think about that position, and you know this, everybody knows it. It's the puzzle piece you have to add. Imagine, let's say Grunkenmeyer would have stayed at Penn State. Let's say he would have went somewhere else where he had an offer, because he did. He had offers, but he felt familiar here when Tech was comparable with the money. Imagine if he didn't come. The things we'd be talking about right now with this program, right? It would be maybe a freshman. Who knows who else maybe they could have plugged in there. We don't know. Who was on the market, who would have been left. But just think if that wouldn't have happened and how that would have just changed the whole outlook for year one,
Yeah, I agree. But also at the same time, what we've seen out of Bryce Baker, he looks like he can do what Grunkenmeyer does. He's not just like what you would dub a dual threat guy. He's got some speed to him, but he's very good in the pocket from what we've seen and what I saw in that second practice when we got to stay there through the whole thing and got to see some live periods. He looked good. He looked like someone who has considerable amount of pocket awareness. And I brought this up a couple of weeks ago that the top 3 on the depth chart this spring are well ahead of the top 3 of the depth chart last year for Virginia Tech at the quarterback position. So I think Tech's in a much better spot. They did a good job identifying Baker as a guy who could contend with Grunkenmeyer for the starting spot and likely be a very good number 2. And I don't know if it was last Friday or if it's going to be this upcoming Saturday where those guys are going to be live. So in terms of, they're going to get hit in the scrimmage. So we'll see how this plays out, and hopefully that helps them out.
Well, what else have you observed? What else have you heard other than that? Other side of the ball, how's the defense? Mike Burnip reported that felt like the offense won the scrimmage on Friday. The defense was better the week before. You kind of like that mix. You don't like one side to kill the other side all the time because that means you may have a problem on that other side of the ball. So what are you hearing about defensively that you like the most?
Well, so Franklin said the 2-minute offense yesterday to close the practice on Tuesday. The offense was pitiful, which means the defense probably showed up.
Yeah.
There's some mixing and matching going on defense where Pry's finding a combination of linebackers who fit well in your nickel package. That would be like a Wiley and a Spencer there in the middle. You can slot, Jones or Spencer out at Sam when you have Chambers and Wiley in there at linebacker. I will say this. Josh Clark is getting a lot of run with the starting defense, which means his recovery from the ACL injury is on pace. And I mean, it was last spring, so he's about a year removed from it. So that's a good sign, because if you have him, Jaquez White, Cam Chadwick, and then Thomas Williams, you're in a much better place from a cornerback standpoint than you were a year ago. Granted, you got to be healthy, because at this point a year ago, Josh Clark hadn't suffered his injury, and he was going to probably be vying for a starting role, at corner. So safety spot, seems like Reddish and Flowers have locked up the 2 starting spots at safety, which means you can allow Brennan Johnson and Sheldon Robinson. You could redshirt them, possibly make sure you can keep them in Blacksburg for another year. Again, redshirt. What am I saying, Damien? That doesn't work these days.
Come on.
I mean, I'm going to turn into Chris Coleman here and saying always red shirt, but I would say that's you're in a better spot. You got to stay healthy, but I think from a defensive side, they're looking better. Pry was a little skeptical about the defensive tackle production behind Kamari Copeland. You know what you got in Emmett Laws. You know what you got in Elijah Fall. Because he played like that 4-eye position last year in Cephas' scheme, where you do have to play more B-gap. So I think moving him to tackle probably, it's a position he played at Georgia Southern. So I think you're good there. You just need to find some more depth so you can get to a 5-man rotation, similar to defensive end where they're going to rotate 5. Pry's happy. He thinks he's got 6 at defensive end. I think defense is in a good spot. Pry mentioned this with the installs. The offense is showing a whole lot more, and it's going to be good for the defense to see these different things that they're scheming on offense that will help them during the season.
Mike was asking, can you ask Damien, do you have any idea what the total cost of the roster was for James Franklin? There's no way we would really know, right?
Not right now.
You think that'll come out, I guess? Will we ever find out, you think?
Yeah. I need to do some quick math because I know that it's going up. The rev share is going up 4%. So I would say your rev share is 75% of the $20.5 million that goes to football. And then I don't know what NIL is. Again, like we've FOIA'd to try to find out what NIL is, and we keep getting told that's something that Virginia Tech can't disclose because it falls under the student privacy, and it's like,
oh, okay.
So I just want total numbers. I don't want like individual breakdowns. I just want to know how much is this. So I don't know if I would be able to have a total number. I don't even want to guess because
I know
we don't know Miami's numbers, and we know Miami's probably tops in the ACC. We know Clemson and Florida State have good NIL dollars. We know Virginia's invested a lot in NIL. Louisville. So I would say probably behind them. Definitely ahead of Boston College, Wake Forest, Duke. I'd say North Carolina's decent with Belichick. But again, Syracuse is a private school, so again, we're not going to have those numbers.
Yeah, we won't know. We need private. Yeah,
like the numbers wise, like that's going to be tough. And with Virginia Tech saying that they're not going to release these numbers because it involves student records, it's going to be tough for us to kind of figure things out. You can hear like Drones was around 7 figures, probably like 1.2 million last year. That's your top. So that means go from there down, and you just have to figure out how much people are making. I'd say Kamari Copeland's probably going to be one of the highest NIL earners for Virginia Tech this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, yeah, I just wonder, Franklin seems like the kind of personality that if they end up being pretty good, one of the things he'll get out there is this is what we spent. We have this kind of money. Some schools are doing that now.
Yeah.
Hey, look what we just spent on our roster. You want to play football, make some money, come here. I wonder if he'll adapt that mindset.
I would like that. I would love that. But
I mean, why not? Why not be transparent about it? If you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of people were turned off by that, and I'm like, okay, well, that's the rule everybody's playing with right now. So let's just let it roll. Wayne asked, do we think kids are leaving? Oh, this will be right up Damien's alley. Do we think kids are leaving basketball more than normal because Tech is de-investing and they know? What do you think? Because we did have, 2 more guys left yesterday.
Yeah. So David Cunningham has filled me in on a good bit of this because, he follows the basketball team much more closely than I do. And he mentioned Virginia Tech from NIL and rev share. It's about $5 million last year. And your rev share was $3 million, which means you had $2 million in NIL. And Virginia was at $10 million, and Virginia is going to go up to $15 million this upcoming year. You have to know Duke and UNC are investing heavily in NIL for basketball. Louisville, the same. But again, I was told, even though Virginia Tech made a much more significant investment in NIL for basketball this past season, it still wasn't high. It still was, among the lowest in the ACC. So it's like Virginia Tech's like, okay, we can pay Hansberry, we can pay Johnson, hopefully Hammond. You pay him.
It.
But it's like you're essentially keeping your freshmen who didn't play last year because they're like, oh, yeah, we're not going to go anywhere. We got a roster spot. And then it's like, well, who else are you going to sign?
Right. That's a great point. It does feel like Hammond's waiting to see what the final numbers are going to be in Blacksburg. I'm sure their negotiations been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Hansberry took his early. Johnson took his early because he was hurt so much last year. He may have felt like this might be his best chance to make,
Yeah.
And
Virginia Tech's going to go from having they retained 4 guys from the previous season and brought them over and kept them. Now it's like you're keeping 3 key guys and some freshmen, and you don't have anyone in the signing class. So now you're having to go to the portal. I mean, heck, I'd take a run at Dwight Vick's kid, Isaiah.
I know, man. I mean, he's starting to blow up. We always get updates every week. He's got 20-some schools looking at it.
Yeah,
so.
I'd look at Trey Beamer, someone who Tech had recruited and was out of his grant. He had been released from his grant and aid. Can't remember which school it was from, but I'd look at him as well. So, Wayne, Virginia Tech women, they get 5% of the rev share. And I don't know what NIL looks like for them, so it's probably
not good. Yeah.
Probably the total number is not as good as the men, but I think I read a report that Virginia Tech was one of the best funded women's basketball teams this past season in the ACC.
Really?
Yeah. Well, what's your competition? Duke?
Carolina, maybe.
Who else is spending in the ACC?
Yeah, it's a sport that loses money for everybody. So you're right. It's hard to sit there and condone.
If South Carolina is operating in the red,
correct,
with all the success they get. Now, when they sell when they sell sponsorship at the arena and they sell jersey patches, South Carolina will probably be cutting it closer to even compared to but yeah, Karis Baker leaving seems. I was like, yeah, but she's graduating and she probably wants to chance probably closer to home or at a better spot. So with Suffering, Wenzel, having Sears come back, I think Sears is going to factor in. KD Sears is going to factor in significantly to the offense this year after missing all of last season. So,
it's interesting. Wenzel stayed and that was great, but they lost some. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they put their roster together coming up. We don't know. I mean, everybody's dealing with it their own certain way.
I'll say this: Duffy at least has some high school signees who are top 100 kids and McDonald's All-American caliber players. So she's identified, players who she can bring in that could be foundational pieces. Mike Young might be going the route of, I'm just going to recruit the transfer portal, which I don't know if you want to do that, because you look at what Zach Chu's dealing with at Radford, and you have Del Jones going to the portal, Dennis Parker going to the portal.
We got 2 back. 2.
Yeah.
2. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
2 back. 2 back.
Yeah, and Wayne, as long as you keep seeing that pink Bronco on campus, you'll know Wenzel is there.
Yeah, that's why she stayed. Let's just say it the way it is. She got money, but that helped.
There was this whole hubbub about, like, she didn't come back to the team after winter break, and Nick Brown from Tech Sideline snapped a photo of her pink Bronco on campus, like, guys, she's here. And it's like, yeah, she ain't going anywhere. She's compensated very well, and like I said, she's got a relationship with a football player. So,
yeah. Well, they've got to try to figure out men's basketball, because it's the only other program that makes any money. So I don't know what the future means. I don't know what this whole thing about the extension we heard about from Chris Coleman, right? I think he knew it was supposed to come, but boy, we haven't gotten any update on that. Did that get canceled? Are they just going to wait? What are we doing there? That's weird.
Don't know, though. Whit's going to meet with a few of us here after the spring game. So when I talk to you on, let me see which date. When I talk to you on the 22nd, we'll have some tidbits from our sit down with Whit. So
okay, good. Maybe you'll get some answers about some of that stuff. That'd be great.
Well, I know there's a lot of basketball questions, but I've got a lot of other questions that involve money. So, Wayne, I don't believe anything about UVA courting Kenny Brooks.
I don't either. That wasn't a credible report. I read that.
No.
It was the one guy who reported that. I don't believe that happened.
Yeah, and then
they had this We're going to find out from Bob Black coming up. I believe they had the Richmond coach in their sights for quite a while now. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Correct.
He's won everywhere he's been.
It's a great hire for him, and I from what I know, they were contacting him the day that they made the announcements. This whole thing with them and Brooks is not true.
Well, they could have thrown the Kenny Brooks stuff out there as misdirection.
Correct. Yeah.
You never know. I mean, that would be something that I would do. Just misdirect the hell out of everyone else. Like, oh, look this way, and we're just going to go an hour east on 64 to Richmond and scoop up a proven winner who turned Richmond into a mid-major power. I mean, he's won wherever he's been, and he's also worked at institutions that value academics. So he knows the constraints that you have with players who have to meet stringent academic requirements in order to stay in school. So, going to UVA is not that big of a jump for him.
Well, our women's basketball coach pretty well. Mike McGuire is pretty clued into all of the things happening around the Commonwealth. And he mentioned the gentleman's name who got the job a long time ago, right after it happened, a week ago, right? He felt like that would be the case. So, and sure enough, that's what they did. So, good hire.
And good on McGuire for getting his extension. And he's going to be keeping a lot of those players probably. I think women's basketball is in a good shape there at the Dedman Center. And
well, we lost Joy yesterday. So.
Oh no. Oof.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
Well, I guess Simonson's sticking around, so that helps.
Yeah. But anyway.
But I can understand Kenny Brooks, with his family being in Waynesboro, it'll be closer to home. But he's probably being compensated very well at Kentucky. And
more than yes, correct. With more opportunities down there than
right. And I don't think UVA would have been able to match his compensation at Kentucky, even though the buyout was $500,000, which is extremely low. He's being compensated well. They have a women's only arena. They have a women's only practice facility. you have SEC dollars pouring in, so that means you're going to get. If he says, "Hey, I need this," they're going to be like, "All right, yeah, we can do that," because they like their basketball in Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly.
The men get a lot of attention, but if the women do well, you're in a basketball-centric state. Like, people are going to come to your games.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But no, I don't believe he was offered. I don't care what Kentucky radio is saying. They were focused on the gentleman that they had. I mean, it's just facts. Again, it's just something people put stuff out there. This is what's going on in media all the time, right? I know you have to battle that because you're writing all the time. You see things, and I know you know things, and you're just probably like, "What are we doing?"
I saw that, and I was like, well, yeah. I mean, it's close to home, but at the same time, you're going from a program that's probably funded very well, and you just got to the Sweet 16 with it. Do you want to go to a program where you don't know how much UV is being funded? You don't know how much the AD is going to be looking over your shoulder because you're going to be her third hire in that sport.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, fact and fit. It made a great story, I guess, because people are still talking about it. It made a great clickbait type of deal. But and it might have been one of those things where, again, it might have been smoke and mirrors from UVA, or it might have been Brooks's agent throwing that out there, because you could parlay that into a pay raise. Yeah, he may have gotten. We don't even know. He may have gotten some kind. Yeah, you're right. It's like we know how he operates, the way he left Blacksburg. Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if there's the possibility of him being able to go back home where he's close to home, and you might be able to get Kentucky to give you a few extra dollars, or not even give you a few extra dollars, put more money in NIL or part of the rev share agreement. Put a few more percentage points of the rev share to women's basketball, which means $1 million or more dollars. Why not? Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Well, they appear to have made a really good hire on paper. We'll talk to Bob about that here, but it seems like they got a good response, because it was apparently the situation down there. What's going to come out is going to be much worse than what we found out already. With their former coach.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, Wayne, the Debbie Ryan, Wayne, the Debbie Ryan days of, they're not that long ago.
It's been a long time ago.
And right. Don't forget, Old Dominion was a women's basketball power as well.
That's right. They got a national title. It was an AIWA title, right? Like UCLA had a title, but it was AIWA too. So.
Yeah, and then Old Dominion during the Tincha Penichero era was always in the Final Four and always running into Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or UConn.
Absolutely, yeah. Old Dominion was a beast in women's basketball, man.
Oh yeah, they had to play at the Scope because that's the only arena that could fit people.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, the old Scope. Is that building still there?
I think so.
Is it still there? That's cool.
I know they got the new arena for
Norfolk
basketball.
Scope.
I think the Scope is still there.
Oh, that's cool.
It's been a while since I've been to the 757, so I don't know if that's a fact. But I mean, driving on 64, you wouldn't be able to miss it. So
it's true. That's true. I hope it's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wayne says it is still there. That's cool. That's awesome. I wonder what they use it for. Are they still I hope it's still functional for things. That's kind of nice.
You might have it for like Boo Williams events, or you might have it for like bigger games. Like you could put like, if you want a true neutral court, you could put like Norfolk State against Old Dominion there. You could put Hampton. You play concerts. You could play some neutral court games within like, between like ODU, Hampton, Norfolk State, William and Mary, throw them in there. Like, if you want to be like, hey, we'll do a neutral court game there, easy for fans.
It's the biggest indoor arena in the area, Wayne says.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest indoor arena in the area. Cool.
I believe it.
Good stuff. Well, I like that. This mid-major tournament in state you and I keep talking about, that'd be a great place for it, right? Just do it down to Scope. Why not?
Do it down at the Scope. You can put the women's at the Henrico County Event Center.
Be great. Great. They're missing out, man.
Oh,
Leave
yeah.
Tech and Virginia out of it. Leave Tech and Virginia out of it. Let everybody else just kind of jump in and do their thing. I mean, it would be great. But
it'd be great to fill out the non-conference schedule, too.
I know. You could play 2 or 3 games. Great interest in fans. It makes too much sense, but that's why it won't happen. Just saying.
No kidding.
All right. So what are you looking for this week? When is your next opportunity to find out more about Tech football this week?
Well, not this week. We're actually getting them next Thursday. We wanted an availability. Andy and I talked to Travis about this, and he asked us about that week, and we were like, well, we'd like it Thursday because it's closer to the spring game.
Yeah.
And we don't want to come in Tuesday, and then they change the format after we've talked to them, because we like to get a chance to talk to them as close to the spring game as possible, and then have an idea. All right, what's the format going to be like? How are you going to split up teams? Who's going to be calling plays on both sides? Kind of get an idea of that closer to the spring game versus we get told here's the format on Tuesday, and then come Thursday they announce, oh, well, here's the format. It's like, oh, you changed it up on us.
Yeah.
So we'd rather be able to get the information as close to the spring game as possible, because just to avoid.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. Well, we're looking forward to that, and I can't wait to get your results when you sit down with Whit. Maybe you can get some answers about some things.
Yeah, hope so. Got myself about 2 weeks to come up with some questions and stuff like that. So
Exactly. All right, brother. Well, enjoy the rest of your week, and great stuff as always. And we'll talk again soon.
I'll talk to you the next week.
All right, man. Be good. There you go. Damien Sordelett. He's the best. Good stuff. Can't wait for that now. He'll ask Whit the good questions too. He will. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room on the professional door text line. That's good to hear about the Scope, because I always get sad when they tear down arenas, old arenas we grew up with, stadiums. I know you have to certain times, but because you don't want to put money into an older arena if you're putting all your money in the new one. I get it, but it always saddens me. You watch the implosions of old baseball and football stadiums. It always kind of makes me sad. Like always makes me sad. It's Creed. He's coming over here. I don't know if he's gonna. No, he jumped down. He's not happy because it's colder, and I think he missed a kill. He gets grumpy. He's like the competitor, right, that doesn't play well in a big game. He takes it personally. Well, if he's out and he missed a kill, he takes it personally. He feels like he's let everybody in the house down. I believe so, Morris. I think the Scope is where the Virginia Squires play. Dr. J, Dave Twardzik, and crew. I have a T-shirt. I have a Squires T-shirt with the old logo. Great logo. The ABA had some great logos. It was. Were you there, Tebow? You should have came up and said hello. I was up there broadcasting. Yeah, it was packed. It was full of Tech fans. It was a Tech home game. Yeah, it's brand new too, Tebow. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a brand new field. Brand new field. The Artist family, who's been great partners with Radford, great friends of Radford, donated to have the new. We needed it there. So, yeah, it's nice. It's very, very nice. Yeah, they do. Tech, Pete DeMoore's team now 34-5. And it's something I talked about during the broadcast yesterday. When you looked up and down their lineup, they did not have a hitter under 300. They hit 3 more home runs yesterday. They have 73 home runs. So they're 7th in the country in home runs. 7th. So they do it offensively. And we didn't see their top 2 pitchers. Neither team used their top pitchers yesterday. Because, it's a midweek. That game means a lot to fans, but both coaches are looking at it. Tech's got trying to keep it going in the national ranking, but they're really good. And program had its best start ever. The way they play is really smart. They know all the fundamentals. I think that team is going to host a super regional. And they are definite. Since I had my eyeballs on them yesterday, Tech softball has a chance to go back to the College World Series. I really, really believe that. I really believe that. They have everything in place if they can stay healthy. Because nobody in the ACC, it's a good league, but there's nobody that's going to knock them off their perch, I don't think. But they're good. You see Pete and you talk to Pete. He knows they're good. Like he's just got this. Yeah, I'm loaded this year. So I wish them well. There's a lot of respect there between Radford and Tech. The girls all know each other, and it was fun. It was Radford kids. The Radford kids are down 7-2. They loaded the bases in the 7th. They had a chance. They had a couple chances maybe to get a big hit and get back into it, but they had a pop up in the infield and then a deep fly ball that ended the game. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, they are. They're good. They're very good. Story of the Big Dog live stream origin. Wow, Vic, you are new and a new subscriber, so thank you. I got that notice. Appreciate that, Vic. Tell your friends, man. Help us out. Get us some subscribers. It's a continuation of a radio show that was on for 10 years from 2001 to 2010. When I became full-time at Radford, I ended the show. I was a little burned out, to be honest. So ended the show, and when the new group came down and bought the radio stations, they kept going out and talking to the community and to business owners, and my old show kept coming up. You need to bring back Big Dog. It was a great, whatever people were saying. And so I got called in by the new owners who I'd never met, and they said, hey, would you like to come back and do the show? So I did from 2020 up until 2024, and then ended that one. And, I'll be straight about it. The management there was a joke. So a lot of dishonesty, a lot of things that weren't on the up and up with things. So I ended that and sat around for a while, was content to say that 15 years of the show was awesome. I'm done. It's over. It was great. I'm glad I had that run. I got to meet a lot of great people, got to do a lot of great interviews. Matter of fact, Friday, when it shows up in the Patriot, I encourage everybody to read my piece about when I met Tony Gwynn, my hero, my baseball hero. It was before the show, but I was a sports director at the stations. And then it was the same thing. People kept, who we owe I'll tell you who we owe for the stream. We owe Bill Roth and Wes Durham. Because Bill, for about 2 or 3 years, has been saying you should take that thing to YouTube. You should just take it and own it. Because Bill knows about local radio and the horribleness of ownership in most places. So it was the summer of last year, and I started thinking about it, and I said, you know what? Why not? I started reading up. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, Vic. And then, primarily everything I watch is on YouTube. I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen, there's nothing on network TV that's worth a damn. And I said, why not? So I looked up on it, figured out what I needed to buy. I bought quality stuff, paid for this studio, gave it a shot. And I said, I'll do it for a month. If it doesn't work, I try and I'll have this stuff. And if I want to go on from time to time, it's cool. Well, here we are. That was back in August. And here we are now in April. And We've got all these wonderful sponsors, and we have beaten every viewing algorithm that we were given. We just have to be consistent with subscribers. It's been an unbelievable, surprising success. Does that make sense? Because I was not comfortable in this format at all. I hate camera. Can't stand it. I hate to have my picture taken because it's just something I've never liked, because I don't want to look at me, and I don't feel like people want to look at me. So it's been great. It's been great. And it's been nice to be able to come back and talk about all these things. And then it happened to work out perfectly that we came back, and then Tech football imploded. And when we had the Dwight Vick show the night of the Old Dominion game, because he was texting me, we got to go on right now. Let's go. And we did. And we were on for about 3 hours, and we had at one point like 1,700 people watching that stream. I mean, then it just started to hit. So, and we'll keep it going as long as it's sustainable, if that makes sense. But again, the reason you come back is because of all of you. Like, the most fun for me is interacting with you, our guests. I hope it comes across that it's not about me. I never have. The radio show was never about me. I hate the the crap that you see now on TV and a lot of these shows. It's just, let your guests take over and talk. People want to know about your guests. They want to hear about them. They want to learn about what's going on in their takes. And I like learning about you. So there you go, Vic. May have been boring, but that's our live stream. That's where we are now in this new world. I've been doing it. Remember when you used to have interns on? Yeah, our producer. Yeah, Tebow, you remember Pooch? Pooch wants to come back on. I got to get Pooch on. He's a Michigan guy. He's a Detroit. He's from that area, so he's all excited about the Wolverines. Maybe I'll do that. I'll try to get Pooch on here soon. Bob Black's going to join us, the voice of the Richmond Spiders. We'll talk about them losing their women's coach, and we'll talk about. I'm going to ask Bob, what are we going to do about college athletics? He's been doing it a long time. Great broadcaster. Really, really good guy. Really, really good guy. Everybody knows Bob Black, right? Boom. All right. So he'll join us here in just a little bit. And he'll receive that invite, and we'll be very excited. We miss Logan, too. All right, so I've had like 3 people on the chat line. What am I wearing? I'm wearing, this was Darius Nichols. This is our combination. This is what we did with the city of Radford. So you have Radford colors. You got the navy blue and the red. And then right here, see the light blue? This is kind of like the color that's, and they already have red in the Radford City logo. So it's kind of an interesting combination. That's what that is. So it's our New River City. Yeah. You like that? But Darius brought this in a few years ago, and he gave me one. So, yeah. So, yeah, the navy, the red, and then the city color, and then our logo here. So, yeah, I kind of like it. The city, we've had the same New River City uniform. I think it's going to change next year a little bit. Or it might be done. I don't know. But it was nice. Yeah, it's a nice little change. Will you enter the transfer portal to move to a national broadcast network? I have no comments at this time. If anything like that would ever happen, it would still be this show and it would still be you coming with me. That's what's great about this. You don't leave the area. Whereas in radio, if you go to another city, then all of a sudden you've lost that audience, right? Not anymore. Now you can just come with me because YouTube is worldwide. Heck, they might be watching us in Artemis 2 in space. But yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this is cool. I hadn't worn it in a while, and it's cold. Why is it cold? Can we stop? Can we just stop with the cold? That would be great. What's today? What we got? I haven't looked. 55 today's the high. Really? 55? Okay. 60 tomorrow. We get back in the 70s for the weekend, so that's good. Can't we just stop? By the way, it was great. What I enjoy is when I'm out and I'm up there yesterday, and I guess people are watching, they knew, and, you know, I have the window open in the press box, and all these Tech fans are coming in. It's for the second time that's happened. And I don't know any of these folks, and they're all talking about the show. And I'm like, thank you. That's very nice. You should chime in. No, we watch. We don't. Some of them are a little older. We just let you know we like to have you on. We put you on the TV in the morning, and that's a scary proposition that I'm on TVs, that I'm on people's TVs in the morning. But it was very. Thank you, those of you who came. It was like six or seven folks yesterday. Took the time to stick their head in, shake my hand. That was very nice. Very nice. But I mean, it was full throttle Tech. You were there, Tebow. They even had the Go Hokies dude. I don't know who he is. He's a gentleman. He looked a little older, and he just, let's go Hokies the whole game. And you're just like, wow, this is not a home game anymore, is it? But we got a lot of compliments on our field. It is nice. It is nice. Tech, they got Virginia coming up. That'll be an interesting series. Virginia's got very good pitching. And both teams stay in the Commonwealth. Radford's got a huge Big South series at Farmville against Longwood this weekend. Big. Baseball yesterday beat ETSU. That was a good win. ETSU, of course, beat up on Tech a couple weeks ago. They're good, and Radford's playing well. Just took 2 out of 3 against Upstate, the defending champ. So you saw him. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he shows up at all the games. I'll tell you what, the crowd responds to him. Yeah. Absolutely. Is that who that is? Part owner of the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs? Chip Grubb. Okay. So everybody knows Chip. All right. I didn't know. Well, maybe he can invest in the program. That'd be great. Tell Chip to well, Chip was really getting the crowd fired up yesterday. I'll tell you that. And Tech won 7-2. Those of you that are still asking. Yeah, Tech won the game 7-2. It's a pretty well played game, you know. Not mistakes. Like I said, Tech didn't roll with their main 2 pitchers. Radford didn't roll with their main pitchers because, again, the coaches of both teams, they want to win, but it's a midweek. Midweeks, once conference plays start, are totally different than midweeks when it's non-conference. Because, you know, softball, you're traveling to these tournaments like Tech. They challenge themselves during the non-con, traveling to all these places with other top programs, teams that are going to be in the, you know, NCAA tournament. Hey, what's up, Patricia? I like it when the P-Peps chime in on the professional door text line. How good do I think Tech is an NCAA regional? Tech, if they don't get hurt, I don't think it's hyperbole. I'm just telling you, I saw them for the first time yesterday. I think they are potentially a College World Series team. I do. I would say that with the utmost confidence. We'll see if it happens, but I think they can make it back to the College World Series. I do. Because keep in mind, I didn't see their top 2 arms yesterday. And they, you know, that changes everything. but the way they play and how fundamental they are. You know, most coaches, we have a hitting complex. It's really nice. And softball takes their strokes inside the hitting facility, the Source Center. And most of the time, the coach will go into that facility. Well, Pete didn't do that. He's got like a hitting coach. He knows they're going to do their work. He was just hanging out, got the lineup from him. He's talking to people, talking to Coach Fagan. It was really cool. It was just, he knows they're really good, and he has a right to feel that way because they are. They're 34-5. I mean, that's 1984 Detroit Tigers good. Remember the Tigers that year? They're like 35-5. They ended up beating my Padres in the World Series. Why is it both times that my baseball team actually made a World Series, they played two of the best teams of the generation, the 84 Tigers and then the 98 Yankees? By the way, I did find out, just to update people, so I don't want people to think it's a coach's thing. I found out for somebody who's very close to Megan Duffy that said she never got the messages that I wanted her on the show. Because she said she would have done it in a heartbeat. She was actually, I was told she was telling people she was disappointed, and they had a conversation with the person who was supposed to relay that. So we'll see about going in the future. Well, I've got Pete's stuff, so what I'll do is I'll just reach out to him directly. I won't run that risk again. Yeah. So we didn't get big time by Megan. She just didn't get the messages, which isn't good. You know, if you have people over there whose job is to promote and to talk to their coaches about trying to get opportunities to get the word out about their program, and they're not doing it, that's a problem too. But I'll talk to Travis a little bit about that now that I know what happened. And I'm sure he had no idea. So now it'd be kind of, the season's over and they're trying to piece the roster together. So no, he is laid back. He has a right to be laid back this year because they're really good. Like really, really good. Just remember, you heard it here. What is today? April the 8th. If they end up in the College World Series, just remember, just like we told you, James Franklin, it's the one time that my Big Ten contact guy is so good that I didn't hesitate bringing that to the table because I knew where he was going to end up. And I knew the process he was going through, checking with other schools. And I was told, well, none of them are going to hire him. He's going to end up. So when I did that, it wasn't to try to beat people to it. It was just because I felt good. And I know Tech fans were very, I don't usually do that, but it turned out being right. Now, I'm not going to get any credit for it. Nobody's going to ever remember that. But you do. I'll never forget the reaction I got when I came on and I had photoshopped the picture of Franklin in a Virginia Tech hoodie. What is that? Did he take? Oh, man, I got called names. I mean, I got some of the most derogatory comments. Oh, my Lord. When I posted it on the Facebook page, I had people that were just, I mean, some of the, you're just like, wow. So when he was hired, I reposted and said, hey, I'm just going to put this right here. And then I reposted the entire thing from a month and a half earlier. And then I got a different reaction from people. Wayne says, I've apologized for calling you names, Rick. It was you. It was you. I'm going to let Bob know that I sent him the invite. I think I sent it to the right email address. I hope so. Let me know, Bob, if you're watching. But anyway, yeah. Big Ten guy has not missed. Big Ten guy is I don't need to talk to him as much now. But he did tell me, he said, don't be surprised to see Indiana fall back. He said the word considerably this year. Interesting. Hang on. Tell you one thing. Creed is driving me nuts this morning. Love him. He's my guy. Creed is driving me nuts. I'm going to let him back out. All right, we're back now. Sorry, we had to take care of that scenario. That's why he's the mascot of the show. People have understood that now. All right. Keep hitting us up in the chat room and keep the text line open and going nuts. That's good. There's that guy. Bob Black, the voice of the Richmond Spiders, joins us. Bob, how are you, brother? Good morning, man. It's been too long, my friend.
Big Dog Rick, how are you, my man? Good to see you and talk to you. I like the advancements we've made here. Now we can see and talk.
How about that?
Yeah. What will we think of next?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you what we need to think of to save college sports. But anyway, we'll do that a little later. Well, how have you been personally, man? How's everything going with you? My goodness, Richmond's had a terrific year athletically. I know that.
Well, it had been slowing down and going a little smoothly until yesterday's blockbuster in losing our women's basketball coach, which I think we figured was coming, Rick. Sooner or later, I thought maybe we had dodged a bullet this coaching cycle. And for those of you viewers and listeners who don't know what the heck we're talking about, Richmond's coach, Aaron Roussel, was named Virginia's head coach, women's basketball coach, yesterday. And of course, that one came out of the blue, Rick. I'm sure you've talked about it. The dismissal there at UVA after going to the Sweet 16, the toxic culture that had been reported, all of that. There were plenty of good jobs out there that I thought Coach Roussel certainly would have been more than qualified for. When they were all filled, we all kind of, wiped our brow, breathed a sense of relief, said, all right, he's back for another year. And then as soon as the Virginia news hit, I think we all had this pit in our stomach that this was too easy. This was too obvious. This made just too much sense for Aaron to go from Richmond after 3 straight NCAA appearances, NCAA victory, 20-win seasons, to take over in the ACC at Virginia. Great for him. Couldn't be happier for a better person and a great coach than Aaron Roussel.
Yeah, and our coach at Radford, Mike McGuire, has nothing but the highest regard for him. And matter of fact, I heard that name. As soon as that happened, I heard, well, it's a no-brainer what they're going to do, right? And sure enough, boom, it happened. So, well,
and not only that, but I think as Richmond begins its search, Mike McGuire's name will probably be on that list. And on my talk show, will probably be out there. I think there's some other qualified candidates. I've been thinking about that as well, but Mike's a former Richmond assistant, and Rick, what a tremendous job he's done, and what a tremendous person he is, and how well regarded he is out there. I imagine his name will be thrown against the wall and will be one that will stick as a possible replacement at Richmond.
Absolutely. Well, and you guys will find a good coach. It's a terrific place. And the men's basketball team, how would you rate their season this year? Got off to a terrific start. I mean, every time I look up at Richmond, they're always good. You guys are always good and competitive every year.
I would say we were competitive, but it was a mediocre year. It started out really good. Yeah. Now we had a soft schedule. That was part of the constructive criticism. There were no Power 5 teams on that schedule. I can never remember that happening before. That's part of what we may get into later, just how difficult it is in college basketball in this day and age for the mid-majors. You know it, to find quality competition during the regular season without doing things, way out of the box. So I think that came back to haunt them. The conference season did not go the way they would have liked for it to go. And there were a lot of close losses, a lot of games where we had leads and lost games. I know we saw that in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, the Connecticut win over Duke, the VCU win over North Carolina. But it doesn't lessen the pain, Eddie, when it happens to you, as you well know. So I would say it was a mediocre year. It's been back-to-back years like that. Every indication is that they have enhanced budgets to pay players and NIL to be competitive in the Atlantic 10. I believe that, and kind of looking forward to next year and seeing, what those additional resources can do. And, Rick, and you said it just a moment ago, Richmond has always been a program that has been well-resourced. It has been well-funded. It is the flagship program of Richmond athletics, men's basketball. But in this day and age, you need to keep raising the stakes. And I think Richmond's committed to doing that moving forward immediately, most importantly.
Yeah, that's right. Because in that league in particular, the A-10 is just so strong. You make the argument it might be the best non-power league from top to bottom, at least competitive. So you're right. They understand the urgency there. And I think that's good to hear. That commitment is reaffirmed there. That's good.
Yeah, and that comes from our president right on down. And, they don't release the numbers. No schools like to do that. But I think the prevailing wisdom is about a double of whatever that budget was, which would move us closer to the top teams in the league than closer to the bottom. Like, I don't think we were the top 3 with St. Louis, Dayton, VCU. I don't think we were the bottom 3 either. But I think we were in that group that was probably a little bit closer to the bottom in funding than it was to the top. And I think the goal now is to be closer to the top so that we can be competitive with the top.
Well, let's fix college athletics, Bob. You always have a great take. It's an absolute mess. I don't think anybody's serious about trying to fix it because the haves say, "Hey, we're going to be fine." What are we going to do, my friend? What are we going to do?
I guess I'm putting Band-Aids on broken legs here because my first 2 these aren't even solutions. You're right. I don't think there are any solutions, and we're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube. The money is what it is. I am not in favor of the astronomical amounts of money that players are making in college athletics now, no matter how much the schools and the commission and the NCAA make. I'm just still not in favor of these players making the astronomical amounts of money that they're making. Should they make some money? Yes. But I would never win in a court. That's for sure. I know that. But I would cap this at some point and just make it more reasonable. But I'll tell you, Rick, so the money aside, because I don't think we're fixing that. I think that's going to stay out of control, quite frankly. The 2 things that I would do to try and restore a little bit of order is I would bring the transfer rule back into play where you can transfer once, go wherever you want to go, play immediately, do whatever you want to do. If you do that again and are on your 3rd school because you've chosen one out of high school, then you've made one other decision. Now you're going to go to a 3rd school. Now I would like you to try it our way. And our way would be, let's take a step back, sit out a year, learn the culture, learn the program, become ingrained in your campus community. We're still going to pay you. We're still going to give you a scholarship, but we're going to let you do it our way for once and stay for 2 years and see if that works for you now so that we can stop this 4 years, 4 schools, 5 years, 5 schools. So that's one. Now, if a coach leaves, different matter. I think at that point, yes, you can leave, you can go. Obviously, the in vogue thing to do now is follow the coach to his next school, which, back in our day, you couldn't even, that was taboo when coaches left. Oh my gosh, he's taking his players. That's dirty pool. Now it's the obvious. So I would say that's an exemption to what I'm talking about. And then secondly, Rick, I would have some separate pool of money for what I would call a retention bonus, because I am all about trying to keep guys and gals at their same schools for more than a year. So this money would have to be separate from what you raise for NIL, what you have in your budget to pay the players. It would probably have to be some symmetrical figure across the entire country that if you go from freshman to sophomore to junior, we are giving you a retention bonus that's coming from some other pot of gold that the NCAA or the College Sports Commission has, so that it's not draining individual schools' budgets. Because I just want to see these guys staying at schools longer than a year.
Do you ever foresee, the more folks I talk to really think that we're going to go the route one day of the employment contract? They think that might be the only way to make this thing work. Do you think that's going to happen? Anything like that, like we see in the professional level? Because this is essentially professional mindset anyway.
Yeah. First part of your phrase there, I probably will say no, employment. But contract part, I would say yes. I think we're already seeing contracts. Yeah. I think some of the things that I'm hearing, and if they're not using the word contract, they're at least using the word agreement. And we all know there's a way to break them, one legally or illegally, to break them. But I do think we are already seeing, some 2-year deals, agreements, contracts between player and school. I'm sure they're written with clauses where one or both sides can get out of them, but at least it does give some stability. I don't know if we're ever going to call them employees, although I think you can make an argument that that's exactly what they are. But I don't think we're going to get quite to that point, but they are going to be, freelance, independent contract. I don't know what you want to call them. Right. So the employment part of that, not so sure about. I do think the agreement contract part probably already is in play to some degree.
I like the retention money idea. That's a good idea. Would they also maybe contract, not employee contracts, but we're going to have like incentives. You need to reach a certain thing. We have to win a certain amount of games, keep them invested in what they're doing. Because I'm hearing a lot of horror stories. Once guys are getting those monthly checks, all of a sudden they're not as coachable as you would have hoped.
Yep, absolutely. I think you're experiencing it. I'm experiencing. We all are experiencing that. And man, doesn't this just sound like we're going down the road that they're employees? They're like professional basketball players, and I hate that. I don't want to see that. I think I'm seeing the game even on the court start to change more towards a professional NBA style of play, and I don't like that either. And maybe it was just, the national championship game and it was at such a high level, but I couldn't help but think this is even looking, now they didn't shoot the ball great. They didn't score, as much points as they do in the NBA, right. But it was looking more and more like an NBA style game. And I don't want to see that. I love the college game. I'm not a huge fan of the NBA game. So I really don't want to see it heading in that direction.
Yeah, agreed. I was going to ask you what you thought of the tournament. It's going to go to 70, at least 76 next year. Looks like that's going to happen. It was inevitable. I don't like that. I guess we keep thinking I hate the fact that they're going to add teams. It's going to be just to add power teams. Everybody thinks it might help mid-majors. It's not going to help us at all, is it?
No. I agree. I would much rather keep it where it is. I probably was against going to 68 from 64. But, I like that now. I like the first 4 in Dayton. So, look, wave the white flag on this 76 thing. I certainly hope it doesn't go any further than that. I don't want to see 90. There are coaches out there because obviously it helps coaches to be able to say you made the NCAA tournament, right? Obviously, that it would go to 90 or whatever. I hope that doesn't happen. I'll take a deep breath and swallow hard and deal with 76, and we'll have a second Dayton somewhere, which that may not be the worst thing, and do that on that Tuesday, Wednesday, and do one maybe on the west half of the country and the other in Dayton. I could probably live with that, but I have no expectation that it's going to mean Radford or Richmond or any team like that has more of an opportunity to get in the tournament. It's not going to mean that.
Not at all, because all those leagues are looking out for themselves, led by the SEC and the Big Ten. They don't really care. And by the way, it's the Big Ten now. They have to be the best conference. They want everything, right? Both basketball titles and the football championship.
Yeah, I think it's the first time ever that one conference has won all 3 with 3 different schools. I mean, that is pretty impressive. I'm sure Greg Sankey is up at nights now.
I know.
How am I going to fix this? How am I going to change this? So, it does mean more in the SEC, we hear, Rick.
That's what we're hearing. Yeah,
that's what we hear. Yeah, but the Big Ten is certainly the king right now. I mean, that is pretty impressive. No matter how we've tilted the landscape, for them to win football, men's and women's basketball with 3 different schools. That I will tip my cap a little bit to them on that one.
Yeah, that was impressive. It really was. I don't know if Indiana's going to sustain itself long term, but what happened there? I mean, he was here. He was in the Commonwealth. Heck, you played him. I mean, you know what JMU was about, and now see what Kurt Signetti did in your lifetime. I can't recall anything turning so quickly, especially at a place that was traditionally the worst Division I program, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think it's kind of happened twice, probably not quite to the extent of Indiana football, but I mean, Dusty May did the same thing at Michigan when he took over there. Now they had, proud history and tradition, certainly, but, I think they were an 8-win team when he took over from Juwan Howard and that whole mess. And Phil Martelli, as it turned out, he went from 8 wins 2 years ago to a national championship. And Kurt Signetti obviously went from a dormant program when he got to Indiana to a national championship in 2 years. So not only do I think it can be done, but I think those 2 guys have made it a lot harder on all the other coaches who are taking new jobs, because now the expectation is not, we need you to win in 4 or 5 years. The expectation is now you better win either now, like if you're Mike Malone at North Carolina, you better win now, or you better win within 2 or 3 years, because the cycle is just moving too quick now.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that before I let you go, Bob, and I really appreciate you jumping on. We got to do this more, man. You look great on camera. It looks great.
Love it. I don't know about that. Great face for radio there, Rick.
There you go.
He's in front.
What about the Carolina search? It felt weird that apparently there were 5 or 6 names, and you can say they weren't officially turned down, but when you sign extensions with your school, you're kind of turning down interest in that job. Did it surprise you? I don't know if Michael Malone's going to be successful or not. Obviously, he's been in the pro game. He's won a title. He coached the greatest player in the world. How do you feel like he's going to come into the college game? How do you think? What did you think about that search, first of all?
Yeah, so great point, Rick. And actually, I do an afternoon show here in Richmond with my co-host Matt Josephs, and he is adamant that North Carolina got a half dozen coaches, extensions, and much more money. Because as soon as that search began, the Dusty Mays, the Tommy Lloyds, the Mark Byingtons at Vanderbilt, they all of a sudden announced contract extensions and new deals. Well, why do you think they did that? Because they were scared to death that they were going to lose their guy to North Carolina. So that's his hill he's dying on, is North Carolina got all these coaches, extended contracts, and more money, and they probably did, actually. I think the search probably lasted too long. I don't think anybody with a straight face can say Mike Malone was our guy all along. If that had been the case, I mean, he's an unemployed coach. Right. Just hire him, a day after you fire Hubert Davis, and, let him get up and running. So obviously they went after whomever, Dusty May, Dan Hurley, Tommy Lloyd, Mark Byington, all of these guys that turn them down for whatever, which is amazing. That's a blue blood. That's the blue bloodest of blue blood.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely agree. Now, having said all that, I am a firm believer in searches like this. It doesn't always need to be the first guy. It just needs to be the right guy and the best guy at the end. And I'm not opposed to this hire. So many people, Rick, want to just compare it to Bill Belichick. Like, oh, Carolina already did this. That's right. They hired a pro coach. They hired an NFL coach. The Belichick thing has been a circus and a disaster. I think it's a little bit of apples and oranges here. Yes, he's a pro coach and a successful one at that, but he doesn't come with either the baggage or the notoriety that Bill Belichick came with. He's solid. He won an NBA championship in Denver. He does have some college coaching experience, albeit a long time ago in a world entirely differently. But if I'm Carolina, I'm kind of giving him a chance. I kind of think this one's going to turn out better than the Belichick thing did for them. And as I just said a moment ago, it better pretty quickly. And I think he knows that. And I do like the idea that they've gone out of the family. I think it's time, after Dean Smith and Bill Gutfridge and, Matt Doherty and Roy Williams, and Hubert Davis, it's probably time for them to go outside the family, other than the fact that his daughter plays volleyball at North Carolina. But that's okay too, actually. So he's got some familiarity with it. I'm actually willing to give this one a chance, and I think this one's got a chance to be successful.
Yeah, I don't think there's a danger of, Michael Malone pulling out a 21-year-old surprise like Belichick did.
other than his daughter, and that's okay. That's allowed.
Well, that was great to see you, man. And let people know about your show's terrific, by the way. I know I try to tune in online when I can, so it's good.
Yeah, we're 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Matt Josephs and I co-host it on 106.1 ESPN in Richmond, and then obviously, like you, available worldwide, ESPNRichmond.com and on our app. So I appreciate you giving me a chance for the shameless plug there, and I'd love to do this, whenever you'd like. I'm thrilled that you have reinvented it. You're too good not to be, and I hope our paths cross somewhere down the road here. It's been a long time.
Well, it came to this because of Bill Roth and West Durham. They kept pushing me to do this, to kind of own it myself. And I said, all right, I'm going to finally do it. So here I am. I am.
Those are certainly two of the best right there in Bill Roth and West Durham. There's no doubt about that.
And you as well, my friend. You as well. Yeah.
Back at you.
You're on the Pantheon. All right, brother. Thanks so much, man. Have a great afternoon show, and we'll talk to you.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Rick. Appreciate the time.
All right, brother. Good stuff. Bob Black, voice of the Richmond Spiders. How good is that guy? Huh? No contract, no employment status contracts that are going to, kind of be formulated that way. Probably so. Maybe that's where we're headed. We'll see. And, it was funny. We were talking about Michael Malone this morning and kind of had the same response. I don't know how it's going to go, but I don't hate it like you might hate that hire for Carolina. But good stuff. We'll have Bob on more often. He's a great show. You got to listen to those two guys. They get into some really good topics. And it's good. It's a good listen. It's a good listen in the afternoon if you're driving home. I never got to listen a long time ago. He's been in the afternoon for a long, long time. So my first run of the show, I was going up against him. Not that we're in the same market, but I couldn't listen to him. And then the online thing wasn't a reality, and now it is. So now you can go back. Bob's great. Bob is great. He's been he is entrenched as the voice of the Spiders as much as Bill Roth is entrenched as the football voice at Virginia Tech. He is Richmond Spiders sports. Vic, we are here. We are here. This is all we're on now, and that's fine. I haven't put it on. People said, I got to be honest, and I appreciate people looking after me. I don't know what the hell Pantheon is. Somebody said, hey, man, you should co-stream it on Pantheon. Okay. I don't know what that is. What's Pantheon? Anyway, I'll look into it. People said, yeah, you could get your subscribers up. You'd make a lot more. Okay. Well, I'll look it up. Thank you. But right now, this is the only format. And it's been great. The studio's been great. I complained a little bit about StreamYard a couple times because and YouTube has been very supportive. So I don't regret where we are now, but maybe one day when we get to a certain amount of subscribers, we'll throw this thing out there a little bit. Thanks to all of our sponsors, the NRB Super Bowl, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, Top Shelf Apparel. Thanks to Sundown Electric, the Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com, Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, 38 years in business, National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner BDST, and yours truly. I'm going into my first month. I consolidated everything with the bank. I don't have a separate car payment. I don't have a separate mortgage payment. I've got it all right there. Jamie and National Bank were just unbelievable. Made it so easy for me. All I had to do was go over some things in the beginning and then sign some paperwork. If you need a new bank, man. The attorney Ryan Pry in Radford, 701 West Main Street. Our BDST fan question of the week. Who's going to win the Masters? I'm not going to give any hints. We're getting some good answers. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. Charles Lee, 540-553-2971. Little River Heating and Air, professional door, Sundown Electric, all run by great people, community-oriented, full endorsement. If you do not utilize them, you're losing out. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, our presenting sponsor, and you've heard enough from Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller, and Stacy Compton. You know what's going on there. Those guys are an inspiration. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, the best, right off of Walters Drive in Christopher. Go see Mark. If your body is not right, he'll fix you up. And, of course, Jason Green and all the folks at Family Fencing, our studio hosts. Couldn't do any of this without you. You're awesome. Awesome. The longest live stream I've ever done. It was the night that Dwight and I went on after Tech lost to Old Dominion. And that went 3.5 hours or so. Bryson DeChambeau. I will say this, Brandon Wall, I'm getting quite a few Bryson DeChambeau answers to the Attorney Ryan Pry BDST fan question of the week. My goal is to try to get into the Masters this year. I don't have a game tomorrow. I don't have games Friday. I do have a game Saturday, but I don't have anything Sunday. So that is my sports goal. You can't watch baseball anyway. Not watching the NBA. Hockey's finishing up soon. Now, I'm a big NHL hockey playoff guy. So my goal, Richie Davis, if you're still watching, you're going to be proud of me. My goal is to watch the Masters and try to get into the vibe of it. I used to get into the vibe of it with Tiger. I watched it with my dad, with Jack. I don't golf, so I don't have that, that a lot of people do. But I respect the hell out of it for what it is. I know what it means to the sportrical. I just made up a word. Sportugal. Not the country, Portugal. Sportugal. I know what it means to the sports culture of America. If you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at anybody else. Sportsical? What? I talk for a living. After you get hooked on the Masters, the RU crew will take you. No, they won't take me. They won't take me. What will happen is Neil will have you take me because apparently you're running all of the things for him. You will be the one to load me up and take me out there, you and the crew. I mean, I just got to look at it from an operations standpoint. I used to be able to drive pretty well. Morris says, Pantheon. Of course, Morris knows. Pantheon and Annals, Durham's favorite catchwords. Yeah, it's true. He does say that a lot, doesn't he? When he broadcasts. If we end up on Pantheon, I'll have Wes on as my first guest so he can just say it. Yeah, you'll book all the tee times. Oh, yeah, if you book all the tee times, he'll show up. You got all the work done for me? All right, let's go. So I don't know what Pantheon is. I guess I should look into it. Because I have seen some of the people that I do watch on YouTube. I have seen them talk about how they just moved to Pantheon. So I don't know what it is. So I'll figure it out. Wayne's good at that stuff. Wayne will let me know. Wayne, what's Pantheon? Some kind of Hot Wheels channel on Pantheon you're watching? By the way, Wayne, I sent you a link to that thing I was talking about on Instagram. Check it out and let me know what you think. All right, great stuff today. Appreciate Kion Brown. It was a great conversation with KB. By the way, good morning, Chris Lester. You get a chance to tell you in person. You joined us during the middle of the Bob Black interview. So thanks to Kion Brown. Thanks to Damien Sordelett, who's always great. Isn't Damien great? Every time he brings it, man. And Bob Black, the voice of the Richmond Spiders. We're going to have Bob on a lot more. Tomorrow, Andy Bitter, Alex Guerra, Dwight Vick, and whatever else we decide to do tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please subscribe, like, and share our channel. Tell people about the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping us destroy our metrics, our goals each and every week. And we'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition. So long, everybody.